All right, this is lesson 7.4 on scale drawings. First and foremost is this piece of information right here, that a scale equals changed over actual. If we can get that memorized and we use our labels and we go back into that whole idea of proportionality that we've dealt with in chapter 1 and chapter 2, that should make scale drawings easy to understand. To understand scale, you really just need to understand what a scale is doing. A scale is either taking something and changing it proportionally or showing you how it has been changed proportionally. So I have this dollar bill here, and I want to change it proportionally. Hopefully you would know to grab it in the corners and pinch your fingers out or in based on whether you want to shrink it or grow it proportionally, right? All of those that I'm showing you are growing and shrinking proportionally. They look the exact same as the dollar at smaller sizes and larger sizes. If I did change this like rectangle, if I changed it, but changed it not proportionally. So here's a proportional grab when I grab that corner and drag that corner up and back. But if I drag the corner and drag it too far one way, now I have a rectangle that is changing the ratio of length and width. This is not a proportional growth. If I want a proportional growth, I grab the corner and I drag diagonally like that, in the same way that I pinch and have it grow and shrink diagonally. That proportional growing and shrinking is a scale change. It's a change using a scale. So the scale is just that ratio of how much it is changed over actual, okay? So if we have a scale factor, that's a little bit different. A scale factor does not require any labels because it's in the same units. Okay, so you might see this, it says simplified change and simplified actual, and they have to have the same label. And what's nice about having a scale factor is then it will work for anything. Inches, feet, meters, centimeters, miles, it'll work for any label if you can drop the label. But you notice down here on the bottom, I have all of these different scales or scale factors. This one would be a scale factor because it doesn't need labels. That means it works for inches or feet or miles or whatever. This one has specific labels and the labels do not match. 2 feet, 7 inches. I want you to think about if that's a shrink or a grow. Remember, the bottom is the actual. So an actual of 7 inches is grown out to 2 feet. That would be a grow, okay? We can convert that into what is called a scale factor by changing them, by converting them into the same label. For example, isn't 2 feet the same as 24 inches? Then I could write that as 24 inches over 7 inches. And once they're in the same label, the labels can disappear. And as a scale factor, I would write it as 24 to 7. In other words, an actual of 7 will grow out to 24. 7 inches to 24 inches. 7 feet to 24 feet, 7 meters to 24 meters, 7 miles to 24 miles. The next one, is it a scale or a scale factor? It is a scale factor because we have the same label. We can drop those. 14 over 11 is simplified. That's now a scale factor. The next one is just a scale because we have 2 different labels, feet and inches. Once again, could we convert it to a scale factor? Yeah. Well, if I could take each one of those feet times 12, because each foot is worth 12 inches, then I would have 120 inches equal to 9 inches. And now I would just have to simplify that because 3 goes into both of them. 3 goes in here 40 times. 3 goes in here 3 times, and I would re-simplify it as 40 to 3. In other words, an actual of 3 changes into 40. That's a grow. Last one, 5 inches to 2 feet. Again, I could say, 2 feet, I could take that times 12 and make it 24 inches. Now we're in the same label. And then the inches can disappear. And I could just have 5 equals 24. And of course, that can be written several different ways. You could write it as 5 over 24. It's another way of writing it. That would be a shrink because an actual of 24 is shrunk down to a 5. By the way, once they are in scale factor, you should be able to tell whether they're a shrink or grow just by thinking about what happened. For example, if I had a 3 over 1 versus a 1 over 3, think about it. If you multiplied by 3 over 1, wouldn't your wouldn't you be growing it? So anything times 3 is going to grow it. Okay, and that would be like saying taking the dollar bill and taking it 3 times 3 on the length and times 3 on the width. Okay, but if I took it times 1/3, I'd be shrinking it and saying, oh, times 1/3 would be shrinking it down to 1/3 the size. But that only works when it's a scale factor because we no longer need the labels. My advice for you on all of the scale and scale drawings thing is to set up a proportion and label it. Label it as changed and actual, and you can even double label it. If it's a scale instead of a scale factor, and maybe you had feet and yards, then you can double label it, knowing that the actual were in yards and the changed are going to be in feet. But that's now all that can fit into that proportion are feet and yards. You can't fit other different things in there because it's not a scale factor, it's only a scale. But set up a proportion using your labels. All right, we're going to try a couple problems using that idea of setting up that proportion, which I have already set up for you down here at the bottom. I've got it labeled changed over actual. I also have it double labeled as centimeters to meters because right over here they told me that the key is 1 centimeter equals 3 meters. So they're telling me the changed is 1 centimeters for the actual of 3 meters. All right, number 1 says, what is the actual length of the Impressionism art room? Okay, well, if it's asking for the actual, then they must have given us the changed. So let me take my ruler and go measure the Impressionism room. When I measure that out, that is 3.8 centimeters. So I could write that in, 3.8 centimeters. And my scale that I'm using is 1 centimeter equals 3 meters. As soon as I have that set up, I'm ready to use my calculator and multiply and divide. Of course, we multiply these, divide by this, and then what I want you to remember is you already have the label for that's coming out of there. Our 3.8 centimeters is going to turn into meters as we work it out. And so when you work that out, you're going to get, 11.4? And you'll end up with an answer of 11.4 meters. So that distance, the length of the Impressionism art room, is going to be 11.4 meters. Next problem says find the actual dimensions of the Baroque art room. So let's go ahead and measure that again. The Baroque art room looks to be 4.5 centimeters. So again, I'm going to write in my scale that I know, which is 1 centimeter equals 3 meters. And then I measured a changed dimension of 4.5 centimeters. I'm ready to multiply and divide to get my actual measurement for that distance right there. When I do that, I get 13.5. So that distance across the Baroque art room is 13.5. And remember, we put in centimeters, but it's going to give us out meters as our label. I then just have to reset my ruler going up and down to find the other dimension of the Baroque art room, the width, and I measure it this time as 2.7. Again, I put in the 1 centimeter is going to equal 3 meters. I have a changed measurement of 2.7, and now I'm ready to multiply and divide. Multiply, divide, of course, once again, when I get my 8.1, it kicks that out as meters. Because we put in centimeters, we get out meters, and I have new dimensions that we understand. The actual dimensions are the Baroque room is 13.5 meters by 8.1 meters. The third problem says to find the scale factor. Remember, we were using a scale because it had 2 different labels, right? So if you remember the metric system, from centimeters to meters, meters is one of the units that we deal with. There are 100 centimeters in each meter because that's a place value movement of 2. So that would mean that I could write that 3 meters as 300 centimeters. So if I wrote that as 300 centimeters, and I like to write these up and down rather than with an equal sign between them. So 1 centimeter equals 300 meters. Now these centimeters can drop off. It's simplified, and we have a scale factor of 1/300. That means if you would have known the actual measurement, you could have taken it times 1/300th, and it would have given you what it is on the changed picture of that measurement. So let's do a couple problems where we set up the proportion. So I have changed over actual, of course, remember. In this case, is this a scale or a scale factor? It's only a scale, so I still have inches and feet. I have 1 inch equals 8 feet. And then I have, you should be able to tell by the label what they have there. Do I have the actual measurement or the changed? I have the actual because they're measuring it in feet. And I just have to put it there, and I'm ready to multiply and divide. 60 times 1 is 60, divided by 8 is 7.5. And think about what our label is. It's 7.5 inches. So the scale drawing of that 60-foot actual train car is 7.5 inches. Try that again. Looks like we have the St. Louis Arch changed over actual again. This time they still have centimeters and meters. So we can tell that we have the actual measurement here because it's 192 meters. 1 centimeters equals 4 meters. And I have an actual measurement of 192 meters. So I'm ready to multiply and divide, and you're going to get 48. 48 what? Well, the label's already there for us, 48 centimeters. So the actual St. Louis Arch is 192 meters tall. The drawing that we have of it is going to be 48 centimeters tall. On the crocodile or alligator, I'm not sure which one it is, we have inches and feet. So again, inches and feet, we just have a scale, not a scale factor. And I know that 2 inches equals 1.5 feet. And then I have this measurement, which must be an actual measurement because it's in feet. And we're ready to multiply and divide. Those are the ones you multiply, you divide by that, and you get 18, and your label is inches. So the drawing would be 18 inches. So we've changed 13.5 feet into 18 inches on a drawing. And remember, we can do other things, like we can change this 1 inch equals 8 feet into a scale factor by saying, well, each foot is worth 12 inches, so I could take that times 12. Then it would be 1 inch over 96 inches, and then the labels can drop off. And now it will work for feet or centimeters or inches or miles. So if you had a measurement on this train of the window, but it happened to not be in feet or inches, in centimeters, you could now plug it in with the scale factor and still utilize that scale. You can also use it from the drawing back to the actual thing as well. So maybe I have the drawing. I obviously don't have a alligator or a crocodile, but I have the drawing and I measured something on it, and what I measured ended up being 4.1 inches. If I know that it's 4.1 inches on the drawing, then I'm ready to multiply and divide again to find out what it is on the actual measurement, the actual crocodile/alligator. If I solve that by multiplying and dividing, I would get 2.46, and remember what that is 2.46 feet. So what ended up being 4.1 inches on the drawing was actually 2.46 feet in length on that alligator/crocodile. Number 7 says, a model of a skyscraper is made using a scale of 1 inch to 75 feet. By the way, I haven't said this yet, and I will say it in my class a lot. When they give you a scale, they've given you half of your proportion. So 1 inch, 75 feet. They've given me half my proportion. Now, what I also know is that the actual of 75 feet is being shrunk to a changed of 1 inch. That's a significant shrink, right? And it says, what is the height of the actual building if the height of the model, so the changed, we have to be careful and make sure we use our labels to understand that it's the changed measurement we have at 19 2/5 inches. We're ready to multiply and divide. When you do that, you get an answer of 1,455. And again, use your labels because that tells you that 1,455 is a number of feet. Next one says, Salem and Eugene, Oregon are 64 miles apart. If the distance on the map is 3 1/4 inches, find the scale of the map. So this time I'm not doing the entire proportion. I'm just setting up the scale. The scale is changed over actual. So they're actually 64 miles away. But on the map, they look like they are 3 1/4 inches away. Now, that's actually fine because they only asked for a scale. They didn't ask for a scale factor. So you could just leave that, but you have to leave the labels in it. 3 1/4 inch to 64 miles. Now, a lot of people would say, I don't like to have a fraction in it. So one thing you could do is you could take the top times 4 and the bottom times 4 to make that into a scale factor that does not, or excuse me, a scale that does not have fractions in it. So if you took that top times 4, it would end up being 13 inches. And if you took that bottom times 4, it would be 256 miles. So 13 inches on the map would be 256 miles of actual distance in Oregon. To review, the major concept here is that scale is equal to changed over actual. If we simplify that and get it to be in the same labels so the labels can disappear, then you actually have a scale factor, which works for any label. And then when you have that scale or scale factor, either one, that's half of your proportion. So all you have to do is use your labels to set up the other half and solve.